I'm manually recording. And let's switch to solo. There we go. Hi, everybody. How we doing? Alrighty. Well. Yeah, that was a thing. That was a not fun thing. Also looks like... Is OBS rendering in a lower render? Did Slobs also change his video? No, it says 1080. Okay. That was weird. Alright. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm now annoyed that we spent the past 30 minutes fixing tech crap because Roll20's fucked. PC updated, which fucked all the audio stuff. Hey, if anybody else is going to be streaming later, make sure you fix your audio stuff. Or if you're going to watch any other streamers later on, give them a heads up before their scheduled go live time and be like, hey, heads up, you may have gotten an update. You know, be nice. Thank you, Vince Exel. And what was the last thing? Let's see. Oh, and so let's see. Roll20 wasn't working. Stream Deck seems to not be working. Like, two of the buttons are now clicked because I manually clicked them, but one of them's still fucked. The one that changes your headphones.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
He's been doing a lot of stuff trying to
Who are you talking
get
about?
things to work.
Oh, you talking about me?
Yeah.
Why you talking about me, bro?
Because you've been you spent ages trying to get stuff to work.
I was, yeah. Motherfucker. I don't know why this isn't working.
Once more with feeling.
Rip.
Yeah, I don't know why this isn't working. So that's functioning now. It really is. I'm gonna have to fix it. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to fix the OBS later on. Because I'm fixing slobs now, but I'm gonna have to fix the OBS later. This is so fucking weird, man. Why is this not working? It really is just not. Okay, I just have to remember to manually mute it because it doesn't want to mute on its own. Let me try change this back to desktop audio. Yeah, it just doesn't care. It just doesn't care. I don't know. I don't know why it's not working. I'll deal with it later. Hi everybody, how are we doing today? You're doing great. Everything's great. It's all great. This is the greatest. Tesh, you know what? Why don't you start us off right? Okay, why don't you put us all in a good mood? Can you please tell us your dad's bad joke?
Okay. So why did the plane crash?
Why?
Because the pilot was a loaf of bread.
It's still really bad. I'm gonna have to tell that one to my wife just so she gets angry at me.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Neil.
It's so bad. Like, if I tell Brittany that one, she'll just get mad. She'll be like, no, divorce. I'll be like, yeah, see, you get it. Like, you get it, Brittany.
Where you going?
Yeah. Oh, is it? Are we done now? Did I win the game? Did I last the longest?
No.
Is that how you get? Is that how you win? Do you last the longest in a marriage? I don't know. Who has a terrible marriage? Josh, tell us. Tell us, is that how you win the game?
Oh my god.
What? Did I say something wrong?
Let's just get out of this hole. Just climb right out of the hole you're digging yourself. Let's continue on with this.
So speaking of being in holes, how you doing?
Apparently melting in real life and in game.
Oh, well, you know, we wanted to keep it so it was easy for you to RP, keep it real for you.
Yep.
So how you doing with that?
Well, I'm fatigued and exhausted.
Okay.
Both in real life and in game.
And what are you gonna do about that?
I'm going to talk to the Burning Legion
Cool. So
and get a new place that has aircon in real life.
Yeah. Well, that's between you and your nation. Here in the United States, we just choose to not care about the environment, and we have air conditioning everywhere in the summertime. If you live in a place like where Josh comes from in Florida, it's literally like you can't survive without air conditioning. It's just so aggressively bad there. I mean, that or the gators will get you.
It should be that way here, but like people get away with being like, there's technically aircon in the building. It's in one room on the other side of the building, but it's technically there, therefore you're good.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty amusing. I won't lie,
We have one, this house has one aircon, but it's like literally in the other side of the building in the kitchen.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. A lot of places here have aircon in the kitchen, and I don't know why the kitchen was the room they chose.
Maybe because the kitchen tends to be the hottest?
I mean, yeah, but like generally speaking, the kitchen's going to be hot anyway, so like just put it in the place where you go after you do the cooking.
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to be. I mean, to be fair, you're in a pretty hot building right now. I don't know if you noticed, but where you get doesn't get much hotter than that.
Yeah.
Guys, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it.
Wait, what did you do? Oh, you fuck! You changed my background, you fuck!
Welcome to the dungeon.
No. No.
All right. So, sir.
Did you make an emote out of the Wade gif?
Oh God, listen. Josh, you don't understand. You have any idea how many of those, like, a Cerulean Cat and I had to talk about it, and every time he's like, so, how do you want this? I was like, you know Wade, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, you know how creepy Wade can be? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, the music is pretty freaking loud, isn't it? Thanks, guys. I was just enjoying it because I was frustrated. Thanks, guys. I was like, can you make it about as creepy as you possibly can? Just go ahead and make it Wade. He has Wade sweating. It says on the camera, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says "I see you" written on the camera. It's hard to see in Twitch. It's better in like Discord or something like that when Twitch is bigger. Like, it's so creepy. It's so creepy. I'm like, why? Why is this? I send it to Mike. So I didn't just send it to Mike. I spammed Mike with a whole bunch of them, as well as the 2 GIFs of Wade doing that. And his response was, "That's incredible and the worst."
Yeah, accurate.
Yep. Yeah, it makes me not happy. I'll tell you that right now. It makes me not happy. So, but there's somebody that's over in the LI community. Her name's Kelly, and Kelly was like, she's like a stand for Wade. And she really wanted. She usually just kind of like focuses in on Wade's camera, and so she really wanted an emote that properly represents who she is. She wants to be able to focus in, just like she really wants to stand Wade. And you know what? For her, we had to do it. She rolls so many natural ones. And only natural ones.
I mean, you're right, but wow.
And chat, I mean, Twitch chat. Anyways, so hi. Shall we actually jump into our game? Pick up where we left off. Do you want to remind us where we all left off?
Well, I got to the city of Brass, right? I attempted to do things on my own, nearly got put into a contract, found out about a curfew, but did get registered with the city. So I am now official. And now I've had no sleep because I had to read a book all night. And now I'm coming back to the Burning Legion being like, hi, I fucked up. Please help.
Yep, more or less exactly that. This might be my side, not your side. Just so you're aware, you sound a little bit more. Your audio, which is usually very clean sounding, sounds more like almost like a cell phone audio. But this might be my side, so I'm going to mention it once, and I'm going to leave it alone because it's probably my side. All right.
How's that?
Oh, better, but I hear a fan. Yeah. Oh, then the fan went away. Oh, now you're muted. Yeah, yeah. I have no idea what you're saying. I understood the am I? Ooh.
Am I back?
Yes, but now with a huge delay.
What the fuck is going on?
No, now you're back. Do you know what it was the first time when you first said, "Oh, how about now?" Did you know what that was?
What?
So when I first mentioned the audio, thing, you clicked something and you said, "Is that better?" or "How about now?" whatever. It was like you picked it up immediately. Did you know what it was?
What?
I'm asking.
No.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. So I pulled the cord out of my mic and put it back in. The cord is busted. It's terrible. And when I cut out was because it switched. Zoom decided for whatever reason, like, you just plugged in a new mic. I'm going to go to your headset mic. So it tried to go to my headset mic for a second, and then it tried to go back, and then apparently put me on a delay.
Yep, the delay is better now. You're fine. You just
Okay,
once in a while
good.
jump cutty with your video, but that's not abnormal. So that happens occasionally.
That's
of
just
the lag because you're the other side of the planet. So
yep.
all right, cool.
Yeah,
Cool. I was like, he sounds.
I met Rosen Arenes, and I have her contract in my backpack.
Wait.
Just in case.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, you met Rosin in real life? That's cool. I thought she was New Zealand, but you meant the not related at all whatsoever devil.
Wow.
Character. I was like, wow, that's so cool. But there's
Ruled.
no relation between
Oh
those
yeah.
two.
I found out this place is ruled by the undisputed Sultan of Ifrit, and I expect that I'll have to say the full title every time, just in case.
Than just that.
Well, that's all that I was told. So,
He also met Scott the donkey, no relation. Ouch. Thanks. You know what? You say that, but I'm just gonna do one of these real quick. /time out.
Hang on. Wait.
Magoo 1.
Scott.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
My strength is a 0 right now
Why is it a 0?
because I'm exhausted and fatigued.
Oh, the minimum would be 1.
Okay.
Oh, you bastard. Minimum is 1. That gives you -6. No, why is it 0? Your strength isn't a 6.
Yeah. Why is it 0?
Do you have strength and fatigue put on? Because fatigue and exhaustion, because it's fatigue or exhaustion.
Oh.
That'll stack the upgrade.
Good. That's looking a lot better. Okay. I'm less dead.
All right.
Luckily, thanks to Muleback cords, I'm still not like overload. I'm just over a light load.
Perfect. So you're medium loaded? So your speed's reduced to 20 feet?
Yeah.
You dragging ass?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like like it's 33 to 38. And then 66 is medium.
Fun.
No, I'm not. I'm not medium loaded. I'm light loaded because
you're still light loaded. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, light load is 33. Medium load is 66.
Well, between 33 and 66, so 34 is medium load.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's this is the number is up to this. It's light load, not before, not after this.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay.
Yep, exactly. Because a light load is a non-encumbrance in this game. It's not
Got
that way
it.
in GURPS,
Okay.
though, is it?
Anyway, let's continue.
All right. So actually, back to the game. As you just said, City of Brass, Burning Legion, Plane of Fire, some Iranis. The name doesn't matter. Read a contract. Almost got fucked. Instead, you're exhausted. And you're dragging ass back to the Burning Legion. And there you are, walking back in. At least you've been recognized to the point where nobody thinks you're a slave. Yay! And you're being given a small degree of extra privilege. So nothing crazy, but a little bit of extra privilege so that you have the ability to kind of get to and from where you need to without there being too much chaos.
Yeah, I have an hour either way for curfew.
Correct. So that being said, you make your way back to the Burning Legion's like port that they have there. So it's where they kind of seem to come to and from. They're a mercenary organization that travels through various planes, predominantly inner planes. You know what they are because you know what they are because you know what they are. If that sounds like you didn't really explain it, it's because it's not really explained. Knowledge is just put in your mind by the martyr, and you move forward with it. So, walking back, dragging ass back into the Burning Legion's kind of estate there. You go walking, trying to walk back in, and it's not as easy getting back in as it was leaving before. You have to imagine this is almost like a military compound, which is something that you had noted the first time you came through. So walking out, nobody really questions your being in there in the first place. But as you walk back in, you actually get called to the side, like, hey, you,
Yep, I'd obviously go off to the side with the person. I would not make any protest or anything.
And they're speaking Ignan, of course, because that's the common tongue of this land. So as you come walking in, they say, what you doing here?
Hi, I came out of here yesterday. I was brought here from the negative plane by some of the soldiers. I've realized that I'm in over my head with a lot of the stuff here. I just need some help finding a place to stay, that sort of thing. I narrowly avoided making bad choices in the like contracts and such. I'd rather like to avoid that again.
He's looking at you like somebody that works at the DMV, like that degree of care. And he says, or RMV or whatever you might call it, where you live.
Yep.
And so, and he says, yeah.
Well, I was wondering if I could speak to someone who might be able to help me. Just give me some default information to get by.
I think this is an information booth. Security checkpoint. You can go find that somewhere in the city.
Okay, but I was dropped here by the Burning Legion with the idea that they were helping me. Yes?
Well, that was yesterday. This is today.
Okay, well, what is the point of helping me if I just end up dying here as well?
He shakes his head and says, listen, you think we run a charitable organization here? You hiring somebody for something, or you walking away? There's another option. I just don't think you'd like it very much.
No, I don't intend to be fighting anyone or...
Oh, they won't be fighting.
I'm going to let that go without making another jab that I was very nearly making.
I have a way of getting under the skin of my PCs, or most people in general.
How much for information about a place to stay?
What was that?
How much for information about a place to stay?
He
a tavern, an inn.
He goes, probably a good walk. He just kind of like gestures towards the ground, like down the road. Oh, fuck you, Anno. I'm regretting it so much already.
I love it. Okay. Trying to see if I have anything I can give to him. Fuck it. I guess I was hoping for a little bit too much from these people. Out of curiosity, do people hire someone to help them get through, someone from the Burning Legion to help them get from A to B in the different planes?
Usually for the sake of killing something, but yeah.
Okay. How much does that usually cost?
Where you trying to go? How many you bringing?
Wouldn't need many. Going to the plane of ooze.
Well, I can't. As I said, this ain't an information booth. But if you have an appointment.
Oh, okay, so I have to make an appointment. How do I go about that?
Head back in the city, and there you'll actually find a outpost where somebody can set up an appointment for you. It kind of gives you a bit of direction. It's like, I think that's the nearest one in the city. You can set up and see if there's an appointment you can make, or maybe they'll make a deal or whatever there. They'll give you a pass to come back in.
Okay, thank you very much. And I would say that in like the most obviously trying to be over nice tone, just like, thank you for the help, sort of thing.
like
Knowing full well he's
like when a Karen is storming out of a Target and you're like, have a great day, ma'am.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
Like how I always talk to Rena. I get it. So
and then I would head into the city following the directions.
Yep, exactly. So I'm
hoping this person I'm going to meet is probably a little bit better with people if he's making appointments. Hopefully.
So when you go heading back through the city, could you just roll an intelligence check real quick? He gave you basic directions, not like they're you have to remember them and be able to navigate well enough through them.
Yes. Hey, that was almost a 3. It almost went back on the usual bullshit. And you know what? Just in case, just to also see how many luck.
I'll tell you, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The DC was not meant to be that high. Yeah, I won't make you waste it on that.
Cool.
Look, see,
I'll use
nice.
luck later.
I am charitable. I am kind to my PCs. Everybody remember this moment. Clip it and share it with all.
Remember it, because later on he'll be pretty much bashing me against the stone, most likely.
Just don't clip and share the Reno one.
Sorry, against brass.
So anyways, you just every time Neil complains about me, just share that clip it with him. Okay? Just spam Neil with it. All right, so
someone better clip that and show it to Rena.
No, not that one. All right, moving on. So you go walking back through the city, and funny enough, you end up going back through pretty much to where it was you were beforehand. We're talking in that area where you're able to see across the way that all the big golden buildings and whatnot. The streets that were there are much wider than a lot of the other streets around navigating through the city of Brass. But there's all the gold highlights on the buildings, all the gold linings, so on and so forth, the gold filigree, the gold top roofs. And again, you don't know if this is like gold plated or if this is actually made out of gold or reinforced gold, because gold is very soft, so it can easily collapse underneath its own weight. So that being said, you actually make your way into the area where you're like, I just left here earlier, yay. But you're able to, now that you're actually looking for what it was that he had suggested, and he mentioned the kind of like sign that you're looking for, you can actually see that there is most likely why it was you had oh no, it's an unrelated thing. So when you go in there, you actually see like the crest of the Burning Legion emblazoned upon the side of a building, and you go walking up to it, and you're like, this is cool. And because gold is one of those things that, depending on the alloys it's mixed with and what it's kind of like plated with or whatever, gold can be colored to pretty much any color. So it's kind of cool because where they have the Golden Legion crest emblazoned on the wall that's there, you actually see they actually have colored gold, which is really cool. Sorry, this is Witcher music, but for half a second it sounded just like Baldur's Gate music. It threw me off. I want to get DC M8 or whatever the hell those letters are.
Yeah.
So, oh my god, it sounds so much like Baldur's Gate's music. It's crazy. Like the
You
opening
good?
bowl it's just throwing me off. Oh God. So anyways, blazoned upon the walls. So as you go walking up to the building, one of the things that you notice, even just as you walk up to the building, is there's somebody standing outside of it. They're clearly dressed very well. They're Burning Legion armor and everything on them. Wait, Burning Legion? Yeah, that's the name of the mercenary guild. They're
Yep, Burning Legion.
They're dressed very well. They have all the armor and everything on them. And as you go walking up, they say, "Whoa, whoa." Appointment only to come in, unless you got a pass.
I think I have a pass. You mean the illuminated thing?
He has no idea what you're talking about. Like, you mean the illuminated thing? And he just kind of...
I assume I have a pass. The guard said I did. If that's the type of pass you're looking for.
He shakes his head and says, "No. Nothing City of Brass, Burning Legion."
Oh, okay. I was brought to this city by the Burning Legion. I was told I could get a pass here.
He shrugs and says, "I don't know who told you that."
Okay, how do I make an appointment then?
He says, "This is where the appointments take place. You can make an appointment elsewhere. I don't look into that. I just stop people that don't have appointments from coming in."
Okay.
If you don't have
So
an
the
appointment
person-
set and you don't have credentials, you ain't coming in.
Okay, where? Yeah, you murder. Okay, where can I get a pass then?
He shrugs and says, "It's not my responsibility. I stop people from coming in. It's pretty easy. Credentials or an appointment."
If ever a town was going to make Ilen evil, it's this one. It's DMV the town.
Oh no, it gets worse.
I bet. Okay, then can I at least ask if there is a reasonably priced or cheap place to stay the night?
He shrugs and says, "I don't pay to live here. This city's way too expensive."
I feel like being dumped here by the Burning Legion was worse than the battlefield I was picked up from at this stage.
Which battlefield?
Negative plane.
He'll look at you and go, "Oh, I heard there was an expedition going that way, but it was, it's not openly talked about. Was it big?"
Very.
Looked like some pretty intense recruiting was happening. I already have this cozy position. Allows me to get home to my husband.
Yes, it was something to see.
Well, you got picked up. Someone paid for you to get picked up, or?
I'm not sure. I believe that there was as far as I know, the person who the soldier that picked me up did so under orders just to get me out of the battlefield because I wasn't meant to be there.
Kindness of someone's heart? That doesn't sound right. Sounds like somebody paid for you to be picked up.
Interesting. That is interesting.
Well, think
I
about
might
it.
have to try and find out who.
You were part of the I mean, everything's rumors right now, right? So it's all speculation. But there's a war being waged right now. That's the rumor going on. There's a big war being waged, and this is the first wave. This is the beginning of it. That being said, you really think someone out of the kindness of their heart is going to go out of their way and put their life in danger to go scooping you up and bringing you away?
Good point. Interesting. You've given me a lot to think about. Thank you.
He shrugs and says, "You got credentials, you get an appointment, you can get by. Otherwise,
hopefully I'll be seeing you again. Thank you anyway.
nods.
Well, I guess I gotta go on my own and try and find someone else to stay. Okay, it's they seem decent. Just I think this place is just full of bullshit, and I need to work around the bullshit.
Gonna unplug my headphones for half a second to untangle the wire. You can keep talking.
Okay.
I just won't hear you.
Yep. Okay. I think my best. Okay, gotta find permit beef 21. Yep. Okay. I think what I gotta do is I gotta find like a market district or something like that.
Now you've actually walked pretty much the length of the city a couple of times. And because of that, finding a market district wouldn't be too terribly difficult for you to do. Even just a simple gather information, which is a diplomacy check, because you can speak this language natively, is pretty easy to you. So you can just roll a diplomacy.
Cool. Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for you to find your way over to a marketplace, where you're going to be able to do so. And you are actually, even because you got a 34 there, I will say, that the marketplace itself, has a myriad of different things, different crafts and whatnot that you're going to be able to find if you were looking to buy, weapons comprised of many different alloys. You'd be able to find it here, including alloys that you can't find on Aurorum. They only exist in these other planes of existence. You're able to find all sorts of intricate contraptions. One of the craziest things that you end up coming across is in the modern day, you can picture this, but your character would never have seen anything like it. You go by a booth with a ton of clockwork devices. Like, we're talking like gears and gadgets and gizmos and stuff like that. All sorts of clockwork devices happen to go by there. So you're one of those things where you walk by and you stick a cuckoo clock, like cuckoo, kind of like Poppy, like, what the fuck is, you know what I mean? And you can see all sorts of stuff, like pocket watches and things that are over there. Again, these are things that make little sense to you as a person. And so on and so forth. You go by seeing all sorts of different crafts and what, as you can imagine, different sorts of foods and garments, etc. But most importantly, you can actually go by an area where you do happen to see that there are those abouts that are literally calling to arms. People that want to potentially register to try to their fame or fortune with the Burning Legion, see if they can make a name for themselves or earn coin for their families, and so on and so forth. There's actually like almost like a flyer handout person that happens to be over there.
Yeah, annoyingly, I still have very little to judge on what value things are, so I don't want to talk to them yet. But I'll note that this is where they are, so I can come back to that later.
Mm-hmm.
I mainly want to see if there's like anywhere around here where like you know how there's like merchant places and then there's usually taverns and inns somewhere nearby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to sort of check the edges, look for that sort of thing.
Yep, and again, you can definitely find definitely can find all sorts of as you just said, taverns and whatnot that happen to be in the area. And of course, they're going to have food and liquid that you can drink and eat. Vice versa. That way, you'd be fine, and you can definitely find a place to spend the night, so on and so forth, of varying qualities.
Oh, good. Okay. Now I get to finally sort of find a baseline for what the prices are here are going to be like. So, how much are the different qualities for a night?
Well, when you say different qualities, I imagine your character doesn't want a common room, which is like you share it with others.
No. I want a personal room.
Cool. So one of the nifty things that happen to be I want to answer something in chat. Funny thing about build points is that every time you guys put build points in there, I've actually not been I'm tallying them. I've actually not been applying them to Kingmaker. I have them all saved up because Steve has done a bunch recently. I think it's predominantly Steve or only Steve that's done them. Actually, every time build point has been put on there, it's going to go for the 3 PC's Kingdoms and the campaign starting in January. Each of them are going to get a build point for everyone put on there. So it's actually triple the value for when they start their game as like a kindness to them and also as a fuck you to them.
Damn.
Yeah. It's a eat a dick meal, but like a niceness to those 3 PCs. So moving on. So I kept that under my hat for like a month and a half now, or however long it's been. So when you go there and you're looking to just have like a room that's set to yourself, again, there's different calibers, whether or not you want to have the door locked, so on and so forth, same as you would in any other place. But the buildings that you go to here, what's interesting, because this place is a lot more magical than say where you are in the material plane.
Yeah.
If you are to walk into a building, it's like, oh, this is a decent sized building. Then you go into it and you're like, oh, this is much larger than I expected it would be.
Artist buildings.
Yeah, it's additional kind of like extra planar
That's cool.
space. Yeah.
Okay. So what sort of prices am I looking at?
So when you're walking in and you just want like a basic room, something small, simple, bed to sleep on, so on and so forth, with a what's the word I'm looking for? A door that can actually lock, but this is meant to be very small and simple, not as luxurious as this fine room that we happen to be in right now. I mean, look at this.
No.
It has all the amenities that a boy could need.
You still have me in that damn room.
No, you're here with me, baby. You're here with me.
Save me, chat.
Oh, wait till we turn off the cameras and you and I spend some time together. So anyways, the so going in for just a very basic room is going to be 10 gold for the night, and that's just because of the conversion rate of how
much gold? Sorry,
10 gold for the night.
That's not bad. Okay,
because they're predominantly working with things like platinum, and so it costs 1 coin. It's just when you go up and you're like, oh hey, I'd like to purchase a room, it's like just going to be 1 coin, and you put down gold and like not 1 gold, and you're like, oh yeah, conversion for gold to platinum is 10 to 1. I know that. You put down 10 coins and they look at it and they're like, it's like if somebody would walk up to the counter and pay with like, oh, it's gonna be $10, and you just throw down a bunch of quarters, like 40 quarters, and you're like, thank you.
So I got to find a bank to convert these to platinum, and I have 46 left. As far as like 46 platinum, if I do that conversion, that's not much. If that's, ooh, this place is going to be expensive. I wish I brought some of the extra money with me.
You should be happy. It's the inner plane's currency. Inner plane's currency is better than the outer plane's currency.
That's worrying. But good. Okay, so that okay. How about the innkeep? Can I ask them questions? Like about just like if there's a place I can go to exchange my currency, or if something like that. Just
they say.
I guess I'll start with that.
They say it's the idea that you're asking questions for these random people. Like you're expecting courtesies that we have here in real life. Like, I know. Is like a concierge service, right? To like, you can find banks and exchanges throughout the city, as you can imagine. Different people have different currencies. I'm sure you'll find some.
Okay, thank you. I guess I'll go. Oh, sorry. I guess I'll go try and find a bank. I assume there'd likely be at least one near the market district, because that would be very profitable for them.
there of course would be somebody like that. There. So you, sir, are as you like turn around to walk away, you actually have somebody say, "Excuse."
Yes. Can I help you?
Actually, I think I might be able to help you. It says a figure standing at just over 7 feet in height. Their skin color is blue. They're dressed in flowing robes. They look humanoid, aside from being blue skin, having a bit of almost like a goatee style beard on them. They look relatively human, but the thing that kind of quickly catches you off guard, Korean, catches you off guard, is that their hands are very elongated. Elongated not just because each of the digits on their finger. Of their fingers are long, but because there's an additional digit on their fingers.
Ooh, creepy.
Yeah, it gives them this like a kind of like elongated hands look to them.
Okay. And how is that?
It says, I heard you asking about exchange rates. I can probably assist you with this.
Go on.
Well, I'm sorry. I just got a follow by somebody called the Game Mummy, and so I have to say welcome and thank you for the follow, the Game Mummy, because you are currently in Daddy's dungeon. So
God damn it!
oh,
Can I like hide? I'll go like this just to hide it, so it's not on my screen.
The funny part is you did it on the wrong side.
Oh no! There.
Yeah, sorry. So anyways, they say, continuing on, they say, I can assist you with an exchange rate.
In what way?
Well, you're clearly not from here. If I had to guess, you'd look like you're from the Prime Plane.
I can make a guess at what that is. Okay. I imagine that's likely where I'm from.
You look on guard.
Well, the last person to come up and offer to help had a contract involved.
He shakes his head and says, no contracts. Though perhaps a drink if that would settle your nerves, and gestures, kind of like sweepingly towards a table nearby.
Oh, might as well.
So, you go over there and sit down, and somebody will come over, and you can order whatever you'd like, and so on and so forth. They say, in exchange of currencies, I can do this for you. Are you staying here long?
I'm not sure. Hopefully not too long. I'm trying to get my bearings and get to the plane of ooze, but I need to find passage first, which may take money.
He nods and says, "Oh, to the ooze plane. Then you'd likely not want to. Would likely not want to convert your currency into something for here, for this plane. You'd likely want to have something that has a bit more value there."
Probably, but I expect I might need to pay a guide here. In which case, I might need some conversion.
He nods and says, No, I understand. I'm a broker of sorts. I'm not from here, but I spend much time here and other places. I know of peoples that handle such things as passages and whatnot. Perhaps I can be of aid to you.
Okay, that is definitely more interesting.
Oh, Jono.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sorry, that's completely blanked. He said he knows people that might be able to do the passage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is definitely much more interesting to me than the currency exchange, then.
Of course, I would be more than happy to assist you in finding someone that could bring you from one location to the next. Heading to the ooze plane, is there a specific something that you're looking for there, or are you going there for kicks?
A friend.
Someone is lost.
Yes.
Well, that's an entirely different thing. Do you have a means of finding this person?
No, I do not.
Sounds like you have many tasks that you need to be resolved for you. How did you find yourself out here?
I was dropped here by the Burning Legion after they found me on the negative plane.
Is this your first time being so far from home?
Yes, it is.
Might I point out that you come off that way?
I guessed as much. This wouldn't be the first conversation that led me to believe that.
Nods and says, "You seem like somebody, the way that you carry yourself, you present yourself, who believes himself to be of a degree of importance. I don't mean this in a condescending way, because you don't come off as hoity, but the way that you carry yourself. Were you important back home?"
Indeed.
Important in what way?
Joint ruler over some land and a city-state.
Nods slowly. Joint ruler of land and city-state. Does this have much influence?
In certain areas.
I'd like to make a deal with you. I would like to assist you in finding your way to this ooze plane, and maybe even help you in finding where it is that you're trying to, this person that you're trying to find, this person that you've lost. But I'm going to, of course, need something in return, and please do not put your guard back up. I am not looking for your soul. I am no devil.
Good to know.
I am looking for value. Now, I have a feeling that you don't currently carry anything of particular value on you, though you very well may surprise both me and yourself. Have a moment to check yourself and see if you do have anything that you think might be of interest. Otherwise, I have something in mind.
I have a couple of interesting things, but I don't know if anything's worth an extreme amount. The only thing I'd really be willing to give up would be the goggles of brilliant light now. And I don't know if they're worth much. What was the other thing you had in mind?
Well, you said they happen to be a leader of a small kingdom. There very well may be something that you can access that's a little bit more difficult to get out here. That's I would have interest in getting my hands on.
Okay.
You come from the Prime, but your accent suggests that you come from Aurorum.
Correct.
It is that very namesake that I have interest in, because its properties are valuable not only where you come from, but are valuable here as well.
Interesting. What properties exactly?
The Aurorum alloy, when manipulated by those that don't know what they're doing, and he's kind of, sorry, I'm doing this off camera so you can't see, he continuously kind of like plays with his hands and whatnot. Again, it's kind of like one of those things where it's almost mesmerizing because there's an additional digit on each one of his fingers, make it a little bit strange, kind of like how his fingers kind of like fold and weave through one another. It's
I'm
almost
just gonna
mesmerizing, you know what I mean?
Try to ignore it. Just try to ignore it. They're normal hands. Normal hands.
And just so everybody knows what I mean by additional digit, you have, 1, 2, 3 segments on your finger. Instead, it's 4 segments, and each of them are very long, almost like triple to quadruple the digit length of a human hand. Extra joint, extra digit, yeah. Extra phalange.
Extra joints, correct? Yeah.
Not small hands. I'm 5'11", what's that old joke? What's the worst thing about being 5'11"? That you're not 6 feet or something like that. So anyways, he says its properties, when handled by somebody who doesn't really understand how to use it very well, its properties allow somebody to cuts through a bit of magical defense when wielded as a weapon. When wielded as a shield, gives a degree of protection against magical defense. So that being said, it's useful to those where you're from. Here, however, we have smiths that know how to really use its properties.
Interesting. I believe I have an idea about the metal, the alloy that you speak of. We do, in fact, have access to a mine of this metal.
Do you?
Recent setting up, but yes.
So, what I would ask for is, thinking of prime phrasing here, I would ask for 1 ton of this material.
Oh, that's a lot. Realistically speaking, in terms of, I'm not good with like sizes and stuff. That's a lot, isn't it?
I mean, think about what a ton is, right? Even if we use imperial versus metric system, that's 2,000 pounds, right? So 2,000 pounds is how many kilograms? Is it 2.2 pounds per kilogram? So like 960 kilograms or something like that. That's a lot. My conversion might be off. Let's let chat yell at me if it is. So that's a lot. 907. There you go.
It's a lot.
That's a metric ton, Green. A metric ton is 1,000 kilograms. So.
Yeah. That is a lot. Neil, please work with metric.
Dungeons and Dragons is written in the imperial system.
Okay, so
just saying. If you open a D&D book that you purchase in Russia, it still has the imperial system.
I would at least have some idea of how long it would take for a mine to mine that much, right?
I mean, that's a lot of material for a small scale mining operation. It's not a lot for a large scale. The important thing is that the alloy they're referring to is, of course, a valuable and a valuable and yeah.
So that is a lot. But he is offering a fair amount in return in terms of getting me there and help finding. How fast would you be able to get me there?
He thinks for a moment and says, I would have to speak to peoples. If you don't mind being patient and waiting for a day or so, I could get you there in that amount of time. As for locating your friends, that would require a little bit extra time. And just to refer to chat really quickly, yes, I am Daelric. I am the DM. Actually, this is a solo campaign right now because I actually run 3 different campaigns, all set in the same homebrew world, that are all running their own stories, but are very interwoven with one another, sometimes having crossovers. But this time slot is usually set for the Kingmaker campaign that we run. The issue is the 3 individual PCs kind of got separated from one another across different planes of existence, and so we're doing mini solo sessions until they rejoin with one another. So
this is what I'm trying to do here, is trying to barter
his way back,
essentially
to
help getting back to one of them. Yeah.
Yep. So he says it would take a little bit of extra time to find somebody that is able to locate your friends, but it can be done.
Okay, well, how about this? So I assume I've spent the night after this. By the way, I would have spent the night before I asked the bar guy the questions, right?
We didn't specify that, so I was kind of assuming you were still tired. You walked up to them, found out about rooms, bought a room, asked about exchange rates, and then this person grabbed you and you turned around. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine then.
Different headcanon.
That okay, that's right. So which one do you want to go with? If you want me to definitely go with yours, that's fine.
Yep. So you're tired. You would still want to spend the night anyways, but go ahead.
Yeah. So okay. How about this? If you can find the people, I'm going to spend the night here. I might have a look around in the morning, but I'll give your deal a lot of thought, and just give me some time to think it over, look at options, and I'll be back here tomorrow night.
He says, I have many a place to be. I will be here for the next several hours because I have somebody else that I intended to meet in this location. You just happened to be walking by as I was waiting for them to arrive. You are late if you're not early, you understand. And you have until I leave here to come to a decision because I will otherwise not be returning to this city for some time.
Okay. So how would I get the metal to you?
Such arrangements as collecting will be handled by me, of course. I understand that your assets are rather limited, and when it comes to traversing one plane to the next. But
so
collecting
expensive.
such ores, that's something that you would be more adept at doing and more difficult for myself. And of course, there is a matter of, I suppose, what to say. I did not lie when we first sat, but conversation led to a different narrative. I told you there would be no contracts, but unfortunately, our conversation.
A deal is a contract.
He nods.
I've already learnt enough about this place to understand that a deal is a contract.
Well, you were speaking, I believe, with the devil before, based off of your reaction to things. There will be a
fallen
contract.
angel close enough.
He says there will be a contract in this matter, but only because I can't simply say I will deliver you immediate services without pay rendered and not having an understanding of how and when that payment will be collected.
That is understandable. So I have a couple hours then to think about it?
You do. Would you rather hammer out the rest of the details now? You do look tired.
I am, but with a situation as important as this, I'd like to think as much as I can. Take all the opportunity to weigh my options.
Do you need sleep?
Yes, but I can hold off a little while longer at least.
Can you not borrow time? Oh, yes, it is your first time here, and so you're probably not familiar. You've come through the markets, correct?
Correct.
In the markets, there's a place that you've walked through that sells strange-looking devices. They have funny spoked wheels that have spikes on the outside and the in that turn, interlocking with one another. There they have devices that allow you to borrow time. You can take sleep from your later self and give it to yourself today. You won't need to sleep, and you will have all the effects as though you had slept, and you'll just have to suffer the consequences of sudden exhaustion at some point in the future. It will help you at a pinch.
Interesting. Thank you. I might look into this. That might be just what I need right now.
Nods and says, sometimes you need the time, and you don't have it to spare. Then let us finish out the details. I understand that you are not someone that's going to live particularly long, and you probably do not want to have the debts looming over your head for the entirety of your life. More than that, I cannot expect your offspring to honor a contract that was made by you if it is too long term, and I do not want to have any repercussions coming by way of your people because they chose to ignore a deal that seems unfair to them. So let us decide that perhaps repayment in a decade's time.
Okay. That is reasonable. Let me, as I said, let me think on it. And I will be back in a couple hours.
I will have the rest of the details prepared between now and then. I am a little occupied, as I said. Actually, he says, looking across the way, I must depart from you as you must depart from me, if you'll excuse me.
Okay.
And he gets up.
Well,
he stands up at that point, gives you a bit of a nod, and then somewhat, I guess rudely from your perspective, turns and walks away from you as they go to greet somebody else
I don't think
walking in.
that's rudely. I think that's he explained everything. It's fine. He had a prior thing. I'm going to go to the market and see how much one of those things costs, because I need the time to look around now to see if there's another option, because that is expensive.
Of course.
And yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm going to go look for those devices he talked about.
Sure. So it's it literally is a borrowed time that is referencing. So the
how much? Also go on.
Yeah. So when you go and you try to find the device and you're kind of asking what it is, and so for what he described and whatnot, they're like, oh yes, I know what that is, and they go over. And the person you encounter that happens to be crafting these things, it's funny because you're in the inner planes. You're in the plane of fire. This isn't where you're from, but they are strikingly gnomish.
Oh, interesting. So I'd obviously ask like how much is it, that sort of thing.
When you try to find out how much this thing is, oh god damn it, my camera's doing that thing. Bye. It's
okay.
Literally, I'll switch to my other camera. It's literally, I need to change my setup. I need to move. I think it's the fact that I have the other light kind of behind this. It's overheating it from behind. And I have to buy a dummy battery. So I really just got to reduce the amount of heat that's being generated by the constant charging. So I will work on that.
It's Pat.
I haven't gotten around to ordering it yet. And Pat, hi Pat. And Pat has told me a long time ago to go ahead and order he's like, just get a dummy battery and that'll solve a lot of it, and you can get a small fan and da-da-da. And I haven't listened to Pat yet, so god damn it. Hi Pat, how are you, boyo? Pat, did you see what horror show was created by Cerulean Cat? Did you see what terrible thing was created by Cerulean Cat? Ugh,
there it is.
Viking. Yeah.
Once more with feeling.
Okay. So you're saying they look gnomish? Do they? I wouldn't have seen a gnomish, would I? I would know of them, but I probably wouldn't have seen one.
A gnome?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what a gnome looks like? Absolutely.
Oh, I thought the gnome. Oh no, that's halflings. That's right.
Hafue,
I'm an idiot. Yeah, Hafue.
But yeah.
Okay, never mind then. Perfect. Okay, and they look like gnomes, like from the prime plane, as it's called.
Yep.
As it seems to be called.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I mean, first of all, I'd ask about the device and get a price for that.
Okay. I'm sorry, just trying to fix my gain and whatnot because, oh god, it's so offensive how much turn off autofocus, turn down exposure. Oh, so much better. Oh boy, it's like glaringly light. And then I'll leave everything else as fine. Cool. You were saying, sorry.
So first things first, I want to ask about the price of the device, and I'm looking to buy.
Yeah. So back to that, and I'm sorry for getting distracted. So you,
No, it's okay.
he says, oh yes, this right here, it's measly cost. It only cost 300 for you.
Oh, 300 platinum?
Of course.
Okay, I cannot afford that.
He shakes his head and says, "Well, you seem a bit more ethereal than the others. Perhaps you prefer to deal with the outer currency. I do such things. I make trades with them as well."
Oh, yes, with gold. I've got gold pieces.
No, outer diamonds. The astral
Oh
diamonds.
no, you meant okay. I think I misunderstood what you mean.
Oh no, I meant astral
I'm
diamonds, my friend.
from. I apologize. No, I'm from the Prime Plane.
As we all are, right? But no, I sorry. You just have this ethereal nature to you. Your eyes, everything about you. I thought that perhaps that you were from the outer as opposed to the inner.
Interesting. Well, thank you. I think.
Do you carry?
But no,
do you carry diamonds
no,
on
I
you?
do not have diamonds. I apologize.
Alas, I'm low in those at the moment, and I could use them for my next voyage.
What do you think of these? I'm going to show him the goggles of brilliant light.
What is the value of those? Do you have that on you? If not, I can Google it real quick.
Once more with feeling.
No, I don't.
Oh, thanks, Steve. So let's see. I'll do it right now. Finder goggles.
Once more with
Just try to get
feeling.
that. Get it right here. So it's in-game value is 8,800. So what you're gonna have to do, because stuff like that probably has
Whoa.
lesser value at the
Once more
moment.
with
I
feeling.
think a hype train's actually about to come into station. I probably need a
Hype
third person to
train.
trigger because it's 2 people. So anyways, the goggles of brilliant light. You would roll me a diplomacy check as a means of trying to play them up in their value and so on and so forth. I mean, you're in such a bright and brilliant place like the fire plane. You might be, that whole
Once
bit.
more with feeling.
What's your result here?
I'm going to roll a luck on that.
Sure, go right ahead. And nobody's added luck to the pool today. No?
Hey, 25. I'll take it.
Yeah, no, just in B.
Oh God, we only have 2 dice.
25 is pretty solid. So he nods and says, "Oh yeah, yes, of course. I can how about this? I'll sell this to you. You only wanted the one, correct?"
Once more with feeling.
Yes, I don't know if I don't know if this trade is going to go well. I don't think I have enough, but yes, I wouldn't say that myself. But yes, I only wanted one. Yeah.
Of course,
more
and
with
I'll be
feeling.
glad to do this exchange with you. I will give this to you, and because you seem to be having a bit of a struggle here, I'll gladly give you your change in platinum.
Once more with feeling.
Oh, yes.
And so he'll hand you. So after he takes that and gives you the little device, he gives you 20 platinum.
Once more with
Yes.
feeling.
Oh, okay, good. I came out positive on that. Let me get rid of these goggles and change that to
Trade. Oh, there's a curse splash.
borrowed
Once
time.
more with
Borrowed
feeling.
time thing. I'm sure it has an actual name, but I'll just put borrowed time thing for now.
It's actually it's just called borrowed time.
Oh, borrowed time. Okay,
Mhm.
perfect. Well, first of all, I would use it.
Immediately.
Yeah, I literally
So
just.
he's like, how do I go ahead and I was like, oh well, that actually has a couple of features. If you are in a situation where you look tired, which truth be told, friend, you look awfully tired, you just take this little knob right here and you twist it slowly, and it'll actually give you a degree of rest. And it'll give that to you now. You will actually take that rest in the seconds that it takes for you to turn that. You'll actually be taking time from yourself in the future that you can use for that rest now. And the device is designed by me to be smart enough that it'll actually know what time to take for you because of how it is that you're turning it. You want those sleeping, restful, deep slumbering hours from one of the most restful sleeps that you'll ever acquire, and it really helps you to just enjoy the moments. However, if you're ever inside of a bit of a hurry, you actually press down this button here and give it a quick turn really fast, and it actually will snag a bit of time from you in the future and give it to you at an extremely rapid pace now. Now, this device can only be used 3 times in total before it goes all witsy-watsy on you and kind of springs out. My suggestion is just don't hold it when that happens, because sometimes it can give a bit of a pop.
Noted. Thank you. And I'll do a twist to give myself some time just so I'm no longer exhausted.
As you're twisting it, you don't really feel anything happening. And it's one of those things where right as you finish twisting it, you just kind of like blink a couple times and you realize, oh boy, you are wide awake and alert. Like you just woke up to a breakfast in bed with a best cup of coffee and you had a long night's sleep. Like you feel amazing. Like, and when I say amazing, I mean like one of those days where you wake up on your birthday and everybody was nice enough to just like leave you alone and let you surprisingly sleep in a bit. Like it is
Once more
incredible.
with feeling.
Hype train. I'm good. Okay. Whew. Thank you. I needed that a lot. I'm in a rush to figure out some things. Now,
more
you're
with
from
feeling.
the Prime Plane, right? Like myself.
I am, yes.
How is it that you traverse between them?
Oh, you know, sometimes you have to call in a favor. Other times, favors is part of a deal. But you know, you just make your way do.
Would you happen to know anyone that could help me traverse to the plane of ooze?
Shakes his head and says, "Oh no, I don't. What I have to offer doesn't really assist the clients that you might find in a place like that."
Okay. Then do you know where I could go to maybe find someone that could help me?
Shakes his head and says, honestly, I come here, I spend my nights in the markets, I will spend nights at whatever room is willing to hold up all my supplies or whatever happens to be around, and then I'll go elsewhere. One of my favorite places to go, of course, is the Outer Planes, because they don't really have time like we do, and so they prefer what you and I would see as a rather basic device. I mean, clocks, those are pretty common, right? Especially, and you are like, clocks? What are those? Even something simple, even something simple as a timed, hourglass is much more value for people like them there. It allows them to keep track of what's happening down on the lower planes, without having something like time.
Interesting. That's good to know. Thank you. Well, thank you for this device. It's very helpful. And
Chat, if you finish level 5 hype train, and I'll give you a little treat, a little goodie. I'll give you something that you might appreciate. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Something that'll be directly related to what just happened in game. Yeah. That's what we'll do.
I hate you.
What?
You
It's all good.
motherfucker. Okay, never mind. Well, anyway, well, thank you. I'm gonna,
Once more with feeling.
now that I have energy again, I'm gonna move at a bigger, faster rate through the market. I want to look for anyone else that looks like they're from
Once more
the
with
Prime
feeling.
Plane.
1 second. I will throw on for next session that Tesh plays, and every session that Tesh plays, a daddy's
Once more with
trigger
feeling.
that you can use. So at your point in time of your choice, hit him with that exhaustion. all at
I
once.
like that actually.
All at once, you get to abuse the hell out of him with the yeah.
I'm okay with that. That's fine. That's a fair trade-off.
Oh,
And I've got the
yeah.
device for 2 more uses, so you can keep it like there for when I use it again.
Once
Because
more with
like having that device is a nice sort of thing to, if I need it in a pinch. So it's good to have that.
I mean, I could also make it so that the thing is a malfunctioning
Once
piece,
more with
and they can
feeling.
trigger when the next one happens without your asking. That might be fun. What? Who said that? Somebody in this room with me? Hello? Somebody said something.
Once more
I did
with
gain
feeling.
money for that, I guess, so it's fair enough.
You just got a Winifred's wisdom, by the way.
Yay! Thank you, chat. Okay, so yeah, as I said, I want to go through the market, find anyone else who looks like they're from the
Once more
Prime
with
Plane. Just I
feeling.
want to get as much information as I can quickly before I go down my other options, which is talking to the Burning Legion recruiters and stuff like that.
I mean, honestly, you could find somebody here that seems to be from the Ooze Plane because they're like sticky and goopy.
Okay,
And then
that
you
could
quickly
work.
find out that they're actually a lemur. A
Once
lemure.
more with feeling.
Sorry, I should say. And you're like, oh, never
Oh.
mind. Nope. These are Neil's friends.
Oh dear. So can I find anyone to talk to about
Traversing
either from the
planes.
prime plane or the or from like the molten or ooze plane?
Roll that diplomacy check.
Molten earth or ooze plane.
Once more
Roll
with
that
feeling.
diplomacy check. So do you want to use your Winifred's Wisdom for the +5?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Thank you for the reminder, because I definitely would have forgot that. And 40.
Once more with
Jesus
feeling.
Christ. 40. Oh my God.
Ilen knows how to talk to people.
So you go walking around.
I don't know how to talk to people. I let the rolls make Ilen talk to people.
Once more with feeling.
So walking around and trying to find people out, I actually might need Green's help on something. I cannot remember for the life of me the name of that race that
Once
you were just
more with
talking to.
feeling.
I know it begins with an M, and I know they're bluish purple
Oh,
people,
with the-
blue people with the extra digits, and that they. It begins with an M, like an M or an
Once more
A.
with feeling.
The arcane. Are they the arcane? Is that what it is? You say it's fine, or A. It is the arcane.
Yep.
Oh, you know, Mercanes. Also known as Mercanes. I was right with both M and A. Hey, there we go. I was like,
There are some terrifying looking arcanes.
I was like, no. That's that. I was like, no, because of the M, right? Mercane, M or A, and that's why I was right on both accounts. Woohoo! So Mercane. So one of the cool things that you're gonna don't read about them.
I know I'm not. I'm not looking at the pictures.
And who was
I
that?
went to.
Viking?
I deliberately went to. I deliberately went to image search so I wouldn't read about them.
No,
I just
you're
wanted to see the pictures.
So I could not remember. I knew it began with the M. Mercane is what I always knew them as. Arcane is apparently also the name for their race, which I honestly didn't remember that one. But moving on. So they are what you're able to do walking around, finding out different bits of information, trying to find out other people that can help you, blah 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 blah. One of the things you are able to find out is what that race was. So I'm just giving you this as a freebie because you got a friggin' 40. So
Cool.
you're able to find out he's a Mercane. One of the big things to know about Mercanes is that they're kind of like information and goods brokers that exist across multiple planes. They're known for some degree of next level thinking. They always make sure that the deal that they make is beneficial to the person that they're aiding, but also doubly, if not triply, beneficial to themselves. They're not going to make a deal that is not going to profit them in ways that you don't necessarily understand will profit them, but not to your detriment. It's not like devils, where devils are looking to
No,
not only
I
gain,
understand
but,
that, yeah.
yeah. They're just looking for, think corporatists, right? So they're just trying to make sure that happens. But overall, they can be definitely, while they can lie and cheat and so on and so forth, they'll typically be fair because they benefit more by making more deals than they do by not making more deals. So if they can make a good deal with somebody, they can come back and potentially utilize them or those around them for more and more and more, and getting a foothold into different groups of people. Like, whereas you are a person of import means that you can potentially have you have the potential of doing more deals or know people that they can kind of like work with in the future. You understand that. Moving on. You actually are able to find somebody else that is willing to assist you. You actually are able to come across finding somebody who happens to be they themselves on their own bit of a voyage. It's actually a mage that is in the middle. You get a 40 there. You know, and hype train, I might as well be nice to you.
Yay, thank you. Thank you, chat.
So you're actually able to find a mage who, and you got another Winifred's Wisdom, by the way. You're actually able to get a mage who's willing to assist you. He's actually in the inner planes right now doing his own little bit of research. They're trying to find a means of working on their own spell that they're trying to design, because honestly, a lot of the stuff that they're talking about is very much like oh, that's nice. But they actually have the magic.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. They have the magical ability to traverse to different planes, and they're actually actively trying to do that as it is. So the thing is, they say, I have no interest of heading to the plane of ooze. I unfortunately happened to open a gate to that location once before, or female character, I should say. I happened to open a gate to that location once before, and unfortunately, It took me weeks to properly clean up my laboratory since, so I have, again, no interest of going there. But if it makes things easier for you, I can drop you off in the plane of Earth. I both have a tuning fork and a reason for being there, so I will just bring you along for the voyage.
That's perfect. Thank you very much. That'll help immensely. That's 2 steps closer and past the harder step, sir.
Nods saying, the harder step.
I assume does this go through the plane of magma?
Oh, yes, if you're using more mundane means of travel, I suppose you would have to traverse the magma plane, and considering the number of devils that you can find in that place, if they have any reason to have ire towards you, you would simply be at their mercy.
Good to know that we won't be going through there then.
Luckily for you, do you have devils that have ire towards you?
I've pissed 1 or 2 off before.
Oh. Then word of advice in the future should you travel your way through there. There's also a pocket of demons that exist. The best way to keep away from devils is to play with the demons.
Interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that. Thank you.
Most people don't, but they hate each other. They hate each other immensely and tend to kill each other on sight. You could deal with angels and whatnot if you'd like, but first of all, there aren't many in that plane, and secondly, they come with their own complications.
Yeah, sorry, Ockler. I'm being vague. I did piss off Phaedral. So I'm trying to keep it vague. So it's not a lie. Key thing there. But yeah, sorry. What was the last thing you said? Oh, it was just about demons again. I think.
Yeah, it was just you can deal with angels or whatnot as well, but they come with their own complications. So
Yes.
continuing, says, I can bring you to the plane of Earth, but I do need a little something in return.
That's
the voyage
perfect.
is mostly free, but you do need to do me a small favor.
What can I do?
I wouldn't have engaged in such a conversation with you without looking your person over first.
Okay.
You have something unique on you that I think might be a little bit valuable to me, and perhaps you don't even know that it's with you.
Okay. Continue.
Your staff that you carry,
Yes.
it has a unique magic to it. It's both material and otherworldly at the same time. I am curious if you'd be willing to part with it.
Understand that the reason for my reaction is this staff has more meaning than just being what it is. Not only was it at the heart of the breaking of a curse, it was owned by my predecessor for where I come from. So that would be a fairly large ask. The magic on it, you're wanting to study it, I assume.
Indeed, yes.
How about if there was a way I could loan it to you?
Part with it for a time.
Yes, that way you can get your study, but I would be able to get it back for when I need it going back to the prime plane. How would that work? Or I don't really believe this one would be an easier one. If there was some way to take the magical effect from it, you could take that.
I will, well,
If
I will borrow it from you for a time. I will do my research and return it.
perfect.
Did you have a set time frame in mind, or perhaps when my research is done?
When your research is done, I think that's fair. You're helping me immensely, and it's only fair that as long as you are going to return it, that you get to study it in full.
Nods understanding. And we'll reach out to take the staff from you.
Oh,
Immediately upon taking the staff, casts a spell, probably because they're trying to learn something from it right off the bat. Why don't you go ahead and roll me your spellcraft to see if you could identify it?
ooh, my spellcraft ain't bad. I forgot it wasn't bad. It is, however, a 1. So
Luckily, you guys didn't choose the optional roll for natty ones to be a
that's
thing.
true.
So, wait, what the heck? What are you doing? Let's try to load something up over here. Why is that not
I love how
working?
immediately after being like, my spellcraft isn't bad, 1. Fuck.
There it is. That's what I was looking for. So, yeah, you, so he's cast that spell. And so, he actually starts casting the spell, but, the spell casting that he, is doing is actually taking a period of time, or she, I should say, is taking a period of time. Your, check there is not high enough to know what spell is being cast.
That's fine.
But this is a spell that's actually taking right there in the middle of everything, a while. Like, it's actually taking, about 10 minutes to finish
A
casting.
ritual cast. Yep. Okay.
And after the spell is done being cast, after it takes a considerable amount of time doing, stops and looks up at you and says, Aurorum.
Indeed.
I've never been there before.
Interesting. So where would you be from? I am only, unfortunately, familiar with Aurorum.
No. That is something that I will not discuss with you, but I will have to ask one small favor.
Okay.
Do you have anything on your person, anything metallic that has little to no value to you? I'd be willing to pay for it, of course.
I mean, I have coins, money, gold coins.
Certainly you wouldn't want to waste your gold. It's precious back home.
I could part with some of it if you would like. I also have, I mean,
Something ferrous would be ideal.
what's that mean?
Made out of iron.
Oh, okay. I
one of
imagine
its
I
many
would have
alloys.
cooking supplies just for like rations and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just pull out something like that.
Like imagine
Just
like a
like a-
cast iron pan, like a small
Yeah.
person has cast iron pan. Be like, this will be a little less clean, but this will work. Would you rather? You want compensation? They say, kind of like reaching for their purse.
No, that's perfectly fine.
And nods and says, "Thank you. Did you have anywhere that you needed to be in the interim? I just need to have this crafted real quickly."
So I'm still not really actually. I can probably, now that I'm no longer tired, I can wait with wherever they need to go. Just stay with them.
You just go like, you just, more or less, you're offering like, I'll just come with.
Yeah. If that's okay.
Nods and says, "You're welcome to join along. I just need to have something made," holding up the small cast iron pan. Like, again, personal size. You know, it's like big enough to hold like 2 eggs, kind of like each taking up half the pan, sort of a thing. So like a small one, because cast iron pans, I don't know if you use those at all, Tesh, real life, but they're heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a good cast iron pan weighs probably about 12 pounds. So what's that, like 5 kilos, right? Like it's a heavy pan. you know. So
That's why I got them muleback cords.
yeah, right, yeah. So actually, yeah, you have the muleback cords. You might even have like a full size pan, like a good like 12-pound pan. Right?
Yeah, for us,
Like,
given Ilen's like propensity to luxury, probably.
So, anyways, where she ends up bringing you is actually over to a smith. But while the smith has a couple of the race that you had seen beforehand with the original rolling wheel of fire, that the rolling ball of fire that had collected you beforehand, that race of the flaming eyes, the flaming hair, and it's kind of like stocky bodies, that seems to be the kind of smith that's inside here. That's doing work. That's at least up front. When she kind of like walks through and waves through to a couple of people who just kind of give her like a pleasant nod or wave, seeming to know who she is, she makes her way through into the back area where the actual smith is doing funny enough female her work back there, but the it's not like one of those things where it's like through a back room. You can see them where they are, but you're clearly not meant to go over there. Do you follow her straight through, or do you kind of like stick towards the front area?
If she's going there, I'll follow until someone says not to. I'll be polite if that's the case.
Nobody seems to recognize. So whatever the case may be, they whatever the case may be, they happen to just let you go through as you're walking in step with her. The smith out back actually is not small like the others, which happen to be, don't get me wrong, not little, but, stocky and medium size or whatever. The person out back is actually large size. They're giants by all stretch of the imagination. The problem, the difference is like, it's not giant like what you imagine back home, where they're these big, tall kind of, they're actually, even though they're giant in size, they seem almost squat. Like what legends would tell you a dwarf looks like if a dwarf was, like huge, right?
Oh my god!
So this is
it's a giant dwarf.
Yeah, these legends are true. Now, so big, massive, with this long mane of red hair and a long red beard. The beard just barely over the fire, but the fire not catching it as they're hammering away at the tool. But as she comes walking back and they finish kind of like hammer on what they're doing, they throw it into whatever oil that's nearby to allow, and you can tell even the oil that they throw it into is not like something you would find back at home, but similar enough, they actually have similar methods like you would use back home. Either way, when they turn, they actually turn to her and say in giant, do you speak giant? Okay, so they turn and they kind of like Moria, kind of like having the language, and she speaks back to them and so on and so forth, and they kind of have a little going back and forth, and she actually takes the cast iron pan and places it like on a thing nearby, and they talk back and forth for a little while, and she kind of like rolls her eyes and speaks a bit more, and then eventually she'll actually produce a small coin purse looking thing, like a side purse, and she places it on there, and they talk a bit more back and forth, and eventually they seem to come to whatever deal it is, and the person picks up the cast iron pan and they look at it, they look down at her, and there's a bit more conversation. She shrugs and gestures over towards you, and the person looks over at you and gives you kind of like a heavy look, and they said something to you, but you know that they said something to you, but you don't know what it was that they had said.
I would just say something in Ignan. I'll just reply, I don't understand. I'm sorry, in Ignan.
The person responds saying, like recognizing that you didn't understand everything else happening, says, "What you gave is made out of shit."
Okay. Fair enough.
And just kind of rolls his eyes and looks back down at her, or rolls her eyes, I should say, and looks back down at her and says something, and she's like, yeah. And then eventually turns and walks away and says, "Well, that'll at least be ready for me when I return here."
Well, that was an interesting experience.
It always is.
Can I ask what it is you're making?
I know it sounds...
It's perfectly... Oh, sorry, go on. Yeah.
I'd
say it's perfectly fine if not, but I'm curious.
No, she says, "I know it might sound strange, but a fork."
Okay, you mentioned that before with regards to your traveling, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So how's that involved, if you don't mind me asking?
I'll be showing you shortly.
Perfect.
No, we are going to the plane of Earth. There is air there that you're able to breathe well enough, but understand it's a bit stale.
So I have this, and I'm going to show the adaptation thing. This is what's been keeping me safe here. Will this work there?
Oh, are you affiliated with the Burning Legion?
They were the ones that brought me here. I'm not affiliated with them, but they found me on the negative plane.
Those are Burning Legion credentials.
I wish I'd known that earlier, but interesting. That's interesting to know. Thank you.
She
But-
nods and says, "You won't need something like that there. It's most places you go to would be well enough for you to breathe. There are some areas where the air can be rather stifling, and others where it can be rather noxious. Usually, even when that's the case, you do you intend to go traveling much through there, or?"
Not.
No, that's right. You
not-
said you were going to the plane of ooze.
Yes,
So you would likely just be staying inside of unless you're going traveling deep into the wells of the plane, trying to, in a more mundane means, traverse to the plane of ooze. You should be fine. The more populated centers will have a means of keeping the air breathable for most.
It's likely I will end up at some stage, if I cannot find other means, taking a more mundane approach to the plane of ooze. But I'm likely to be looking for help there at methods of making that safer anyway, so I can look to making the trip safer in general. That's good information to know. Thank you. I have lots of healing magics, so hopefully something can help me.
Something like that. Sorry, my apologies. I was thinking for a second. Something like
That's
that
okay.
would, of course, exist. They exist for everywhere that you might traverse, including where you're from. I don't have one of those on me. The best I can offer is I can give you a bit of planar adaptation. Give me one moment to look up the length of that spell. I think it's an hour per caster level. Planar adaptation. I think it's an hour
That'll
per
at
level.
least
Yep.
give me.
So
Yeah.
they say, the best I could do is to give you, I can cast planar adaptation on you. Realistically, what I would be doing is actually casting it on both of us at the same time, because mundane, those details you don't care about.
It's okay. I understand that there's a lot to this.
Well then, I am prepared to leave if you are.
Absolutely. I'm ecstatic that we can leave so soon.
All right, well, we just need to make sure we go and bring ourselves to a comfortable location where we're not going to find anybody who's trying to jump on our voyage. It's ghastly that people do that nowadays, isn't it?
They hitchhike, do they?
Yeah, jump hooks. Have you never heard of jump hooks? She says, walking with you.
No, I have not. That's interesting.
The way that these spells work, typically speaking, you're a practitioner yourself. You're familiar with the weave, so magics, I should say. So that being
That's
said,
a cool note.
that being said, you are familiar that some spells you cast on others, some you can only use on yourself, and others you can choose who it is to be a part of them, and they come along only if they themselves are also willing. You can't force it. They can just choose to be a part of the casting, the ritual.
Yeah.
Well, jump hook kind of cuts through that. Let's say, for instance, I was trying to do a simple spell of transporting the two of us to a couple 100 miles from here. Simple enough, right? I would choose for just you and I to be a part of this this voyage. Then someone else comes along and jump hooks to the fact that I can easily transport many more than just you and I, and they cling on and jump with the spell. It doesn't really tax my magic all that much, just kind of can throw it off. I have the capacity to bring that many additional people, but it might throw us off target because it's unbalanced the voyage. The more people, the more unbalancing, and the more important thing is sometimes when they jump hook, the people that were supposed to come along don't.
Okay. Yes, that is problematic then.
Yeah, the first jump hooks required a degree of physical temptation. Physical temptation. Jesus, read Steve in chat. A degree of physical interaction. They would literally have to grab onto you to allow this to happen, because spells like this usually require a degree of touch between those involved. But
they might find grabbing onto me would be a poor idea.
Well, we all have our defenses, yes, but instead, now they could just be in the vicinity. They just can grab onto the magics for the more modern versions of these. So we need to bring ourselves to a place that is a little bit safer. If you don't mind, I'm going to bring us to one.
Oh, that's perfectly fine.
Wonderful. She says, and she'll actually lead you into a shop. And as you guys go walking into the shop, you can see there's a whole bunch of different items on display. Walks into the shop and shuts the door behind you guys as you go walking in. And as you walk into the shopkeep says, "Anything I can help you with?" "Nope, we're all set, thank you. Unless you needed."
What type of stuff was on display?
It's a myriad of things. A whole bunch of different like potions and scrolls and so.
No, I'm gonna need my money in the earth plane, so.
No problem. Nope, we're all fine, thank you. Turns around and casts a spell on the doorway that you guys just walks through. And the shopkeeper's like, "What are you doing over there?" "Nothing. We'll be out of your hair in a moment. Don't worry. You can watch us if you'd like." And then continues casting a spell. Opens the door back up and says, "You go first."
I'll go through. I have an expectation of what's going on here, and I'm intrigued. I'll go through the door.
You step through. They step through behind you, shutting the door behind them. And what you step into is a ridiculous location. You have never seen such a magnificent place in your life. I mean, honestly, every wall, the floor, the ceiling above you is all pristine and perfectly colored. Just the way that the place is formed, everything about it is just designed for absolute perfection. Otherwise, she stops standing there for a moment and says, "Huh, that's your name."
Interesting. I realized I never got yours.
You can call me Maury.
Maury. So I assume something about the magic of this place allows you to know who's entered it?
It is dweemers that I've put in place over the years, but don't worry about that. Actually takes out a leather let's say if somebody had let's say lock-picking tools or like a dentist tools, they're kind of like folded into themselves, so it's like a small little leather kind of like rolled up thing. So it takes a leather rolled up thing.
I would have, sorry.
Go ahead.
Before she starts setting up, one last thing. I assume that this is your magic seems far beyond mine, but I usually when locating someone you require maybe something that they have on them. So to return the staff, do you need me to hold on to something? Just a token or something you can hold, like zone in on?
I have your staff.
Oh, you could just use that to find me.
It is yours.
Perfect. Thank you. That's. I just wanted to know if there was anything else needed. I assumed that you had an idea about what to do. So. Sorry, continue. I'm very curious to see what happens.
No, it's fine, because as you're saying this, they're unfolding the little leather piece that's there, and it's one of those things where, again, it looks like it could fold up, and based off what gets pulled out of there, probably normally fit 4 of them, but this thing just continuously unfurls.
I like that.
Yeah, like it holds many more, and you can see that as it's unfurling, there are actually many different pockets inside of it. The left side piece, you can see that there are. Hold on. I think it's 16 different slots that are over there, and of those 16 slots, I think it's 16, or is it 18? 18 slots over there. Of those, 13 of them have devices inside. I'll describe in a moment. The central one is the one that's the most emptied. It actually has 5 total.
Oh shit!
And on the right hand side,
I just realized what I've done.
there are many different slots on the right hand side, and it looks like almost all of those are filled as well. Anyways, reaching over to the
Let me guess.
side,
Let me guess. Is there one slot that is not filled?
there are a few slots that are not filled.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, a few slots that are
Okay.
not filled. Anyways, reaching over from the left-hand side, you can see there's little markings marking which each one of these are. But looking down at those markings, you can read on the left-hand side, they're written inside primordial. That's primordial sigil. And so the one that literally says Earth, like it's the symbol for the Ignan language, Terran language that's right there, pulls out a tuning fork. You're familiar with these because of your background and everything. So a tuning fork takes it and goes, all right, this is all we need, and hits the tuning fork on the table. So it actually rolls up the metal thing.
Oh yeah, I imagine so. Yeah.
And then hits the tuning fork on the table, and as it's sitting there ringing, places a hand onto your shoulder and says, "Are you ready?"
Yes.
And starts to hum. It's like the way that they're casting the spell seems to be just a hum, where the humming is kind of going up and down in pitch as she's trying to find the right tone, trying to match the right
resonance.
tone. And as soon as it hits that, it's almost like the vibrations that are happening from the tuning fork. Once she resonates those, you can feel that resonation kind of going through her whole body, and the way her hand is hit onto your shoulder, you can feel that almost like if you're in a room where it's like, you can like feel that kind of like vibration going through your whole body.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
You get to the point where you can feel, if you just pass air through your throat, your voice will also perfectly resonate with it. And so, of course, you willingly do so. And the two of you in the fork hit the same resonance, and all of a sudden,
three of us.
Sorry, two of you. And before anything happens from chat, voomp, you appear in the plane of Earth.
Okay.
You are just literally pulled through. It's one of those things where it's not like it's a drop. It's not like it's literally just everything vibrates for a moment, and then it vibrates to a point where you are now inside the plane of Earth. You happen to be standing in the middle of a marketplace, in a place where the air here is, it's stale. Oh boy.
Yep.
It is not good. It's, that tastes bad.
Is it that much worse than where we were?
Beforehand it was the smell that's bad.
I guess this is the actual taste.
The smell is that of a myriad of people. It's the taste of the air. Like there's no filtration of the air, really.
Oh yeah, no, I know the type of the staleness that you mean. Then I think I've experienced at least part, not obviously in the extreme, but I've when I was going around England and looking at the tombs and stuff, there is a certain staleness to a lot of underground stuff.
Exactly. So either way, so you appear there, and once you appear there, she takes her hand off your shoulder, kind of tucks the tuning fork just kind of like into the folds of the other thing. Clearly, she'll just kind of put it away later on, and say, "Oh yes, let me take care of this quickly." Goes through another incantation and casts on the two of you planar adaptation, which luckily for you is going to last a day. And all of a sudden, the air here tastes
a day
way better. The air here tastes incredibly well.
Hold up, a day.
A day, yeah.
Holy shit!
What? It's just a smell.
An hour per caster level.
What? I don't know that well.
Holy Jesus! Okay, anyway, continuing. That was definitely an experience.
She says, you get used to it. It's, rattling at first.
Indeed.
Playing with a pun there.
That indeed would be with like that sort of like smile, chuckle little thing. Just, indeed. Well, thank you very much. You said that you had business here anyway?
Nuts.
Well, then I guess for now, this is likely where we part, unless you have suggestions of somewhere I can go to talk to people about transit.
Nope, just be careful and who you speak to. People here are stubborn. In the city of Brass, they could be a bit crass. But you usually know once you learn like the rules and the roles and whatnot people play, you can walk within the lines and you'd be fine. But here, people are just stubborn. Even when they get their way, they still feel like they haven't gotten their way. So I guess it's the only piece of advice I could give. As for getting to the ooze plane, I'm sure you could find some tram that will bring you that way. Are you familiar with trams? Do you have these where you're from?
No, but I was informed that it's some sort of transport from vast distances.
It is. It is. Yes, they're. I encountered these for the first time actually here, but I've seen them elsewhere as well. It's really cool. Really cool. It's really interesting when you see the way that people will, once inspired to create such a thing, will do so using a combination of magic and ingenuity to give them, reducing the drag, perhaps giving them a degree of lift using things like static and polar opposites and whatnot, whether it be through bindings or simply enchanting. Either way, you'd be interested to try that out. It's a unique experience. Here, they're not as smooth as I've seen in other places.
I'm expecting not much to be smooth here.
Yeah,
but...
they don't worry so much about the smoothness of the ride because like the gravel and vibrations is something that's normal to the those that are native to this plane.
Well, thank you very much. You've helped me immensely, and I guess I'll be seeing you when you're done with your research.
Of course.
And maybe sooner now that you have access to Aurorum. As I look at the fork, it's something that I guess.
Oh, okay, that wasn't the one that was that. Yeah.
As in, I've basically letting her know that I've guessed now what it was for, because I obviously didn't know before.
Yep.
It's not meant as a jab or anything. It's just like yeah.
Nods and says, "Good luck," and then we'll turn and
thank you. You too. And then, huzzah! I'm now in the Earth plane. I skipped the magma plane, and I'm so glad I did. Now that I know that's where the devils are.
Yeah, only Patreon would know that it's known that is a place where devils and demons actually have a bit of a war in that plane. They kind of clash with one another in that plane.
Oh.
That's like a good number of them that are there, and I won't lie, I was gonna have some fun because yeah, remember how she said to you, like she said something to you the last session that you played about like I'll be seeing you around or safe travels or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, she's in that one, is she?
Well, I was gonna. She easily could have just, oh, look at that.
Okay.
Or sent a minion. Yeah. Honestly, that's below a friggin' what are they called? Is that race?
Yeah. I was gonna have fun. I'm
Race.
glad I skipped that then, and I feel bad about the arcane dude, but that was a heavy cost that I'm not sure I could put on our people, if they are still our people when we get back.
Yeah, my favorite part was the whole credentials thing. Like I brought it up twice, and I was like, oh.
That was knowing that I have Burning Legion credentials. I've actually put on as a tab Gemma Planar adaptation in brackets Burning Legion cred.
Cred. I got that street cred.
Because if I'd known that's such a huge thing that it doesn't matter now because obviously I've moved, but it might still have some sway. So I'm glad I know that now. I also caught her talking about the weave, which is I think the first time Ilen has heard of that, which I think I've heard a little bit from watching some of the other campaigns, but I know very little and I like it that way.
Yeah. Wait. Of the weave, you're saying? The weave is
I
never
also-
mentioned in these campaigns.
Oh, really? It hasn't. Okay. I thought it was mentioned with something to do with the Arcane Congress and damaging the weave or something.
Not. There was. My apologies. There was a degree. I'm trying to remember exactly how I described that before. I guess it was a long ass time ago. But the Arcane Congress does specifically try to stop different. The way that magic works in this world tries to stop the degrees of damage done to its structure. I don't know if I described it as a weave. I would have to go back and check the session 0 from Laszlo about that one.
Yeah, that's literally the one I'm thinking of because I think that's the only one where I even heard that mentioned. But I'm fairly sure I've heard the name the Weave before. It also could be I've heard it in something else because it's a very cool name. So
Yep.
It's stuck in my mind. Anyway, they also noted that one, she gave me a name, not necessarily her name, and two, she was from somewhere elsewhere from Aurorum and didn't want to tell me. But I figured being in her good graces is a good idea, which is why I let her take the thing without compensation. And also getting her to come back at some stage, I can ask her what she learnt from the staff.
Yeah, of course. It's when she gets around to researching it, so it's going to be gone for a while.
Oh, yeah. I get that. I unfortunately get that, but it's better than it being gone forever.
Well, yes, clearly. All right, cool. Awesome. And we have you in the Earth plane, and honestly, here's was actually meant to be the easiest traverse from the Earth to the ooze. It's just a matter of finding somebody who's able to bring you and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I just need to survive in the ooze plane, I think is the other thing. Because I don't know if I don't know if my stone of planar adaptation is only for the fire plane.
Only the fire plane, yeah.
I figured as much.
Yeah.
So I just need to find or purchase something similar that will help me with the ooze plane.
Okay. Is Jake, are you awake? Are you alive, Jake? He mentioned spoke yesterday in our chat. Usually he's listening as we're playing.
Yeah, he asked who was on tonight, and you said us, so he'll probably be ready. I assume he's probably sleeping.
Usually he's listening.
Yeah, he might have just slept earlier, just so he's ready for the thing now, maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna go pee. We're of course gonna have to have a shorter one for Jake. I will say before we go, chat, obviously this whole month is next month, I should say December, is all borked when it comes to schedules. I'm gonna try to post something that has what my modified schedule is going to be for the month, and then things should return to normal in January. I did get remember the last Wednesday of every month, which this would be, I had a thing that would disrupt the time of our game. I'm in East Coast, United States. So we went live at 7 a.m. my time, which is obnoxiously early. I usually go live at 9 p.m. my time on this channel and my other channel. So anyways, what was I saying to you, sir? So the conference call that I would have to do, I actually got it switched to Tuesdays at about noon. So that actually we will no longer, the last Wednesday of every month, disrupting our our game. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. That was a big win. It was a big win. That, of course, it doesn't matter. All right, I'm going to go. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, and we'll see if Jake pops in, and we'll be good to go with the latter part of this, which will make a bit shorter, because I have to go to work today, as y'all know. All right, be right back. Oh yeah.